With this next effect, you're going to have the power of making it seem like you can hack somebody's phone. Now, you can go about with whichever presentation you want in any which way you choose to go about it. The idea that we're providing you here is that you can borrow your spectator's phone, clearly show that you have nothing in your hands, place the phone on top of your hand like this, and you'll be able to activate the flashlight. Super simple. You already know how to do this. So this is just technically a little tiny explanation. We're not going to go into too much detail, but you can have your gimmick already on your hand and you can have it on the bottom position so that when you tap it, in this case, I'm just tapping it with my pinky there. And this is of course going to be hidden underneath the phone so they can't see you doing that. And then that's going to create the illusion that you're somehow able to turn their flashlight without ever touching the phone or turning it on or interacting with the phone at all. You don't have to do it with your spectator's phone. You could do it with your own phone, and you can choose any presentation at all that you want. You're basically just showing your hand empty, going there and saying watch. And now you just time it so that it looks like the phone's flashlight turned on. You can move it around. And then whenever you want, it's not really whenever you want, but whenever you know the light is going to go out, you just act as if you're pulling that light. You can snap your fingers. You can do anything at all that you want and cause that light to go out, making it seem like you had complete control over your spectator's phone. All right, so we were about to teach something else and we took a little break and then I got this idea. I wrote a little shortcut. So if you have an iPhone, this is going to work for you automatically. If you have an Android, you may have to search how to accomplish this. But basically, we're going to take a look at what that looks like. We just filmed it on our phones, so I hope you like it. And there you go. Super, super simple. You're going to be able to take that light out of the phone. It's almost like you have it in your hands and then you put it back. You may already guess how this works. Of course, you already have the Firefly and you know that we're using a shortcut. What I'm going to do is show you the shortcut real quick in case you want to tweak it. You know how it works and you can make it fit whatever presentation you want. So now I will turn it on for you. Right here, as you can see, it's called the flashlight manipulation. If I place or press the three little dots on top, we see that basically the shortcut is just turning on the flashlight right at the top. Then it's going to wait 5 seconds. But if you want to have a presentation where you wait a lot longer, feel free to make that as short or longer as you want. That is what is then going to turn off the flashlight. So you have to kind of practice and time it so that you turn on your Firefly gimmick at the same time that the flashlight is going to turn off. Then we have 8 seconds, but feel free to change it to 7 seconds if you feel like it's a little staying on too long. If you put it in the reason why I do 8 seconds is because I cover up completely the flashlight and then it just changes from being what's lit the Firefly to the phone. And then the flashlight will turn back on and it'll stay on. So from that point, you can then either leave the flashlight on or you can turn it off and finish your trick. Then we went to Patrick's office. We showed him this and he came up with the idea of what if the reason why you're doing this is because the flashlight is malfunctioning. So you're also going to get another shortcut that is going to be called malfunctioning flashlight. And that one is going to start to turn on and off intermediately. And then you're going to be able to pluck it out, almost put it back in your hand, blow on it to fix it. And then you can place that flashlight back. And then the flashlight will stay on and work as it should. So whichever way or whichever trick you want to go with, you're going to have those shortcuts ready for you to play with. Just in case, for the sake of completeness, the way in which we have the Firefly on is on the back of the thumb. You've already learned how to make that light appear. We're using that very same sequence where we're making that coin or the crystal or whatever object technically you want to appear, and that's the way we're tossing that light back and forth. So check that section out if you haven't already, where we will go into detail of this specific handling that we have here. For this next one, we're going to use our phone, and we can just turn on the flashlight that's on the phone, and you can clearly see it, and it shines right there. Now, all you have to do is just cover it ever so slightly for just a split second, and you see that it automatically vanished, but not just the light. It's actually the entire phone that vanishes. And don't make fun of my little screen here. I'll tell you in the instructions, but it appears on your, oh, I forgot to turn off the flashlight. And now let's learn how to do that. You just saw one way in which this can be performed, but in this explanation, we're going to show you two different ways in which you can accomplish a very similar effect, which is vanishing your phone. Titanus has two ways in which he does it. The first one is the one you saw, and I will show you how it is done. You have two options here of how you can place the Firefly on your finger. He likes to put it in the middle finger, and I had it with the light facing towards the tip of the finger. Titanus, since he has a little bigger hands than me, and I should say a lot bigger hands than me, he technically places it on the inside. So the light is actually closest to the palm. I'm going to encourage you to try both and see which one works better for you. But I'll tell you the reason why for me it was easier this way is because I can very easily place almost the entire gimmick like that while keeping my hand straight and holding it there. What's really important is that you have the light as close to the end of your case as you possibly can. I will mention that all of us here at the studio, we all have clear cases, which is why I took a paper and I put Sharpie all over it and then we glued it to my case, because my case is technically completely clear. That's why it looks like this. But you want to have an opaque case so that you can perform this better. Now, you want, like we said, that light to be as close to the flatness of that. If you have it behind, you'll see that the illusion is not as good. You want to have it as close to where that light would be. Depending on which phone you have, for instance, I have this iPhone here, the light is technically on this side. But because we are using this really bright light, if you've played with this light in person, you will see that it's incredibly bright and you can't really see anything around it. Now, we do have 16K cameras here. Okay, maybe not 16K, but very high-end, high-quality cameras, and it may cut down the glare ever so slightly. So this will actually look better in real life, or if you were to film it with your phone or with not such a high-end camera, I would say. But with that now out of the way, let's get into how to get this work. You can either use your rubber bands, or in this case, I'm using the putty. If you want to do the little bit where it looks like the phone it has the flashlight on, just make sure you have the flashlight on so that when you reveal it, the light is also on. Place that into your pocket. If you don't want to have that show up where you can see it, you can simply have the phone facing the other way, or you can bunch your jeans or your pants so that they have double. It's really not double, it's really going to be 3 layers now, and that's going to hide the fact that your phone has the flashlight on. Then you place this in your pocket. What you have to make sure is that when you remove it, you are covering the camera. That way you can't see it. You don't want to hold it very tightly because that would look really weird. You almost want to have it at this angle, because if you have it like this, it looks slightly strange. If you have it at an angle, so your hand is almost diagonally across the case, is going to look a little bit more natural. So you're here, just like that. Make sure also the windows in your hands don't automatically or show prematurely that there's no phone there. And you want to pretend like you're pressing the flashlight. Now, on my phone, usually the flashlight is there. That's why I'm going there. The moment I press there, also I'm pressing this, the Firefly, because I know it's going to turn on in 2 seconds. So 1, 2 and it'll turn on. You just basically want to time it so that you press that here, and that's the time that it takes to bring the phone up. I will do it for you now here. So we go here, we press, and there we go. We'll turn the flashlight on. That way, when we come up, we have the light pressed as further out into the phone as you can. You time it so that then you cover it up. Once it disappears, you bring it forward like this. So you're basically going from the Firefly being here, and I pressed it again. So you're going to be here. Once it turns off, what you'll do is you cover it. Once it starts to go off, you bring it forward, and then you make it vanish. Of course, your Firefly will still be in your finger palm here. From there, you can place the finger there to show that not just the light, but also the phone. Then from this position, you can then hold it in the other hand, and that's going to hide the Firefly behind. So you now look like you're completely empty. Then you can come into your phone, into your pocket, and pull out the phone and pretend you forgot about the flashlight. And then that's it. You're pretty much done. So that's the version you just saw us perform. If you want to do the other version, it's a little bit different because you won't have the Firefly on your middle finger. You're actually going to have it on the inside of your thumb. This one is a little bit easier to do, but we feel like the first one hides the fact that you may have something in your hand way more. Because this one, what you do is you're here, you pretend to turn the light on, and you can use the side of the case to push the light. As you can see, boop, here. So now you have it up here. Oh, and I pressed it again, sorry. So you have that light on, and once you know that it's going to turn off, or you can just turn it off at any time by pulling it down, and automatically it will give the illusion that it's gone. But because your hand is not being changed and they're not seeing different parts of the hand, that's why we like this one. It looks like there could be nothing there. And then when you turn your hand over, the phone case is also gone. But whichever version you want to perform, if you want to do this and then it's absolutely gone and then you hold it here, you totally can as well. So now, can we make a coin, or well, actually, let's do it with this hand. Can we make a coin appear probably out of not nowhere, but a light? So you can clearly see we have a light right there, just like this. And then all you need to do is really just squeeze. And you probably saw as it materialized from nowhere, but you can very easily make a coin appear with your Firefly. So this is one little way that I came up with to make it seem like you're making that light appear and then you're tossing the light back and forth between your hands. Now, from that idea, I realized you could make a coin or a little object, but for now, since we use the coin, let's use the coin. What I did is I placed the coin in this little grip here with the pinky. The reason also I'm using the pinky is because since I have my wedding ring here, it kind of clashes and sometimes it's difficult for me to grab. But if you have a smaller coin, that was a Morgan, this is a Walking Liberty, it may work a little better for you. But explore with whichever finger feels good for you. And then all you need to know is you can have the hand open. You point the finger towards the spectators, keeping it hidden. You don't really want to aim the hand down. You don't really want to aim it up like this because you will flash that coin. Now, I made it seem like I was going to grab the coin or make a coin appear with this hand just to show that hand empty. Then what I have here is the Firefly on the back of the thumb, and I'm using the putty. It's also on the bottom mode, meaning the pretty much automatic mode. You press it one time and it works. So show this hand empty, then make it seem like you're going to come here. Now this shows this hand empty. And the idea is as you come forward, you close the fingers and you bring them in front of the thumb to hide the thumb. From the back, it looks like this. So we have the fingers spread open, they close. Once you know that your thumb is hidden behind the cover of your front fingers, then you can bend in as if you're about to grab something. But that is when you press your gimmick to turn it on. Once the light is on, then you can slightly spread those fingers open, keeping the thumb behind the fingers always. That way, they will see the shine coming through those fingers. Let's get that here so you can see. So right there. And then if I just move the thumb back and forth like this, it looks like that light is dancing inside of the hand. The way in which we're going to get the light to go into the other hand is not by throwing the Firefly into the other hand. We're just going to aim. So we're here. We're just going to aim the light at the other hand. And that's going to create the illusion like the light is there. You can just leave the light there, or what I like to do is you're here, the light is there, you toss it into the other hand, and notice how it's kind of like playing with it, then you can toss it back, then you toss it back, and now you can have that coin appear. Because that coin appeared there, now all you have to do to keep that thumb hidden is come over and grab the coin with that hand. That's going to, of course, keep that light there, or the gimmick behind the thumb from the front. You can't really see that. And you can even twirl the coin around to really give the impression that there's nothing you could possibly have in your hand. From here, if you do want to steal the Firefly and put it away, you can, or if you want to hand the coin to your spectators, take it from that hand, keep the hand hidden, and then you can bring the Firefly behind your hand and just finger palm it as they check the coin to make sure it's real. As they're checking the coin, you can relax, getting rid of your Firefly, and then you can move on to whatever coin trick you want to do. Now, it goes without saying, you don't have to use a coin. You could use anything else. And you also don't have to use this type of palm if you don't want to. You can go with a Ramsey subtlety. So you could come over as if you're going to grab something and say, actually, let me use this hand. So now you would have your Firefly on the back of your hand. So you would come over and say, oh, actually, you can come here and say, watch. Oh, so, I'm doing it wrong. So that you would come over, remember, you cover there, and then that would immediately start to show. You can make it dance if you want, throw it into the other hand, throw it back, then throw it back. And as you see it dimming, you can turn your hand over around it, open it to show that the coin is there, and immediately grab it to show the coin. Or this could be like a little piece of rock or a crystal. I technically have this little routine that I like to do where you have your spectators think of something they want to accomplish. They want to have some sort of wish, or they want to have some sort of goal, and you have them think about that goal already completed. You then have them think about it in the palm of your hand, and you come over and you make that light appear. So now it gives the impression that whatever goal they want, it's in your hand, you have it here, you can toss it back and say, let me crystallize that for you for just a second. And now you would have, let's say, a clear quartz, that clear little rock, or anything at all that you want. It could be a note, an empowering note with a motivational something written on it. And then you can then give them that for them to keep as a souvenir so that they can accomplish whatever goal they want to do. Now, whatever you want to do with this, whether it is to make a coin appear or to make it a little more down the route of mentalism / magic or motivational, whatever you want to think of it, or even if you just want to come up or make some sort of candy, chocolate, or anything appear, think of making ice appear in that way, right? You have a piece of ice. It might be cold, but it would be worth it. So you have an ice cube there, you pretend maybe you go near a candle, like you're taking fire, or a light bulb. Then you can take one element, the light's there, toss it there, toss it over, squeeze, and maybe a little bit of water would start to come out at this point. And then you open it up and you have a piece of ice that you can then put somebody's down their back if you want to play a joke on them. No, I'm just kidding. But you get the point. Anything at all that you want to make appear, you totally can, utilizing this little move. All right, I don't know if you know this, but out of all of these drinks, the one that has the most chemicals or things inside is the Mountain Dew. It has this not normal natural color. And if you actually hold it from underneath like this, you can clearly see that it almost looks pretty radioactive. This does not look like a drink should look. And but the thing is, it's actually pretty safe to eat or drink, I should say. So anybody can drink that. And in fact, you can do this with any of these drinks. For instance, name any other one that's not the Mountain Dew.
Fiji.
The Fiji. So check it out. You take the Fiji and you can actually see the life that is inside. Ooh, there it is. Of the Fiji. Now, if you want to make it a little bit more beautiful, you could also make it seem like you take out the light by sucking it up. Or you can also use the Topo Chico, for instance, by making it look like this. It's almost like the light is coming on from your breath, which means you can then also remove it through your breath as well, and you're left with a drink. Now, of course, this you're going to be able to do with pretty much any drink at all that you want, and you can see that I'm gesturing specifically not to show you that I have it on the back. Of course, this is the usual spot in which we've been using it for a lot of the routines. You can place it there, you can place it in this one, you can even place it in your index finger. We're going to teach it to you like this. Now, the first time that Titanus taught me this, I super mega loved it. I couldn't believe that the whole entire bottle was shining so much to that level. Now, we got a whole bunch of different drinks just to test it out, to see how it looks, and it works just as beautifully with all of them. We just showed you multiple different ways or with multiple different ones, but try it out. If you have any of these at home, or just go to the gas station, you don't even have to buy them. Just take your gimmick with you and test them out. You can prank people with it. You can just do it almost as if you're blowing the light into the drink. You could even take the drink and say, did you know that the Mountain Dew is actually reactive to light? You can charge it up to light. So if we were to take it, for instance, and bring it close to a light source, which now we would bring it close to like a light bulb, and then when you bring it back out, you'll see that it's actually shining. Of course, I didn't turn it on, but if we did, it would be something like this. So you bring it close, then it would be shining, and then you can almost use your Mountain Dew as a light. Of course, it's not going to last forever, and eventually the light will go away, but that's completely okay, because then you can recharge it again, and then you would go and do it again. And sorry, Matt, for moving so much. But you get the idea. Basically, all you're doing is bending in your finger like this, almost as if you were Spider-Man, but with just the ring finger, or whichever finger you have your gimmick on. Then you're going to use the bottom of the bottle to press the button. Now, in this one, I technically have the one that's automatic. So it turns on, it waits 7 to 8 seconds, and then it turns off. Now, you don't have to use that one if you don't want to. You could use the middle one, and then you choose to turn it on, and then when you turn it off. So you could almost make it seem like you're using this as a flashlight, and you can do it with the Sprite. It doesn't have to be with Mountain Dew or Topo Chico or with any of your water that you have. You could say like water can actually pick up light, and then you can use that light to shine anything you want. Another option is you can turn it to the topmost one. That's the one that just turns on while you have it pushed. And let's say we're doing it with the Fiji water. So you could make it seem like when you turn it, so like this, shoo, it turns on, and then when you untwist it, it turns off, right? So shoo, it turns on. You can have it on for as long as you want, and then once you untwist it, it turns off. Of course, all we're doing here is the moment we're gonna grab it, you extend that finger out and you grab it at your fingertips. That is going to hide your Firefly from the back. But again, I encourage you to try it. It's a lot of fun. The whole entire bottle is going to shine, and it actually creates the illusion that that light is actually coming from the top of the bottle. So you could almost do it like this, where if you're on this side here, they can't really tell that your finger is bent, right? And so you can just press, and as you press, make sure the button is in contact. So you would go like this, boop, and then you can let go, and then boop, it's almost like it turns on. Or you can do like a little twist here, and then it turns on. And then when you untwist, that was wrong. So you do a little twist, and then you untwist. And all you're doing is putting pressure or getting rid of the pressure with the flash button here. So it turns on only when you push. Again, this one is a ton of fun. I can't wait to try this out at a gas station, at a grocery store. I think this is going to be like super fun. But you can also just do it anywhere during a show or anywhere where you literally have a drink. Just have it light up. You can use your Firefly gimmick to enhance any trick that you currently perform. Now, we're going to show you the most basic example we could possibly think of, which is just with the double lift of a playing card, changing one card into another. We're going to show you what that looks like, but again, that is just so you can see how you can use this gimmick to enhance any trick that you already perform. In this case, all we're doing is making the moment in which one card changes into another be more visual, and we're allowing them to almost experience the magic. So let's take a look at that now, but by no means is that the only thing you can do with this. The idea that we want to portray is that you can enhance any trick you currently perform by introducing the magic of light. Here's another card trick that you can do any which way in which you want to get a card selected. We're going to go the simplest for you here. So go ahead and say stop. Stop. Right there, and remember that card. Don't forget it. We'll go ahead and lose the card. In fact, it doesn't really matter where that card is, because this is not about really finding the card. It's actually about using any card besides your card. So hopefully that's not your card. 7 of diamonds. Is that your card?
No.
No. So here's what we do. We just take 7 of diamonds and just hopefully the magic can start to happen. You can hopefully start changing there until it's done. What was your card?
I don't remember, but that's it.
Probably the 6 of hearts. And there it is, the 6 of hearts. So this is one of the ways in which you can use your Firefly to transform the card into another one. So we're basically having the card selected just like that. They remember it. When we're gonna loose it, we don't really dribble the cards on top of that card. I'll leave it face up so you can see. We start dribbling on the back, and then we bring it forward. That gives you that space there, so that when you come to square up the cards by lifting up, you can easily get a break right above that card. Then you can double undercut the card to the top, as you see here. If you want to add a little shuffle that retains the top, feel free to do that, but it's not really necessary, because in the presentation, and remember this is face up just for explanation, it would be face down, you're then going to just do a double lift that's showing 2 cards as one, because we need a card that is not their card. Once they say yes, the way in which you switch it can be up to you, but now we have the 9 of diamonds here. You can either place the card down and press it from the top, but that may bend the card or damage the card ever so slightly. For those reasons, you could just, let's wait until the cycle happens here, you could just tap it, place it underneath, and then have the magic happen like so. So this is one way. Of course, you could also light it like this, but then you're giving more heat on your hand by having both hands palmed like this and then switching it over, and almost like handling this card singly with that attached on your finger. You give the impression that there's nothing that you could have in your hand. That's the reason we went down that route. So from here, you can then show, ask what the card is, and then switch it. Of course, feel free to switch up your presentation so that it fits whatever you want. If you want, you can have your spectators tell you the card. Then you have the magic happen after you know what card it is. and then it has the light. I will mention, if you do show here, you'll see that the card starts to show through, at least with these cherry ones, and then you can display it. Again, you don't have to do a double lift. If you want, you could say, here's the 9 of diamonds. As you relax, you're ready for a top change, and you say, now, what card did you have? So it's not the 9 of diamonds, it was the... And then they'll tell you whatever card it was. At this point, you've already done your top change. You make the light happen. You could also leave a little space in between the hand. If you cup it like this, you'll have all that light shine through your fingers, and then you can do the reveal. However you want to get the card changed from one to another, feel free to use it. Also, you don't have to do it like this. If you want to have the gimmick on the bottom part of your finger, as you do here, and then you place the card. Oh, I pressed it, so let's wait just a second. But if you just place the card there, you can clearly show that the hands are empty, and then you can cover it and do the move you've already learned. So now the light is almost coming up like this, and they can see the light is there. You can even flicker it if you want to make it seem like that change is happening in the spot. And then when you open the hand is completely empty, and now you can show that that card has changed. Whether you're doing it with a double lift, a top change, or any other switch that you want, you're going to be able to make it happen. Another place or another thing you could consider is putting it on the back of your thumb, and the moment you turn it on, it's almost like you can shine it this way. Now, I don't really know exactly how that looks. I just thought about it right now. So you can disregard this if it doesn't work for you, but feel free to put it in different parts of yourself so that you can cause that change to happen. Another way in which we could do it is we could transfer the gimmick to the top hand that holds the deck, not the one that's actually holding your deck. And then you can still do your double lift, show that that's the wrong card, turn it over, and now we would press it. Oh, and you kind of shine it like this. As it's shining, eventually it's going to go out. Once it does, we show that the card has changed. Another way in which you could do this, you could consider doing a Cardini change if you want, with like a little flash. Let me switch it so that we have boop. And if you time it, and then it's with that change that it happens. Here's another card trick you could do. It's not really a card trick, it's a card move, but it's the rub-a-dub. If you know the rub-a-dub vanish, where you take the card, you place it inside, you rub, and it disappears, you could do that with your gimmick by having it underneath your hand. Now, you could activate it either with your pinky or as you come down. So you press it, you come over, you place the card there, and now the light, as you can see there, you can almost pretend like you're squeezing, and then you start rubbing like this until eventually it goes away. You just have to time it so that the moment you reveal, that light is already gone. Another way in which you could go about it is by doing another double here, and then you actually put, of course, now the switched out card, but you still do the same style of the rub-a-dub, and it's like it's shining from there. And now we wait until it goes away. You can even rub it just a little bit, and then you show, and then that card will have switched. So that's just one other idea in which you can use your Firefly with your playing cards. Here's an idea to have the card case appear like light is appearing inside, and then a card will materialize on the inside. The easiest way to accomplish that is to have a duplicate card inside of your card case. Now, you want to have it face up on that flap there like this. That way, when it appears face down. Unless you actually want the card to appear face up, so then, of course, turn it over. But the idea is the following. You will have this on the table facing you like this, so that when we come pick it up, Okay, I'm gonna lift this up. This should technically be down, but so you can see, when you come pick it up, your thumb goes in that half moon and it picks it up there like so. From here, you're actually going to be this way, and you can bend it up like that. That way, you're keeping that card hidden on the top portion, or I should say the flap portion of the card case. Now you're going to be holding this like this, and your gimmick will have been hidden underneath the hand, as we have already been doing for the previous tricks. That's why we're not really showing you. You already know how to do this. You're just going to force a card, and then you're going to bend that finger in. Okay, so that finger is going to bend in, and you can show and display it like this. Now, if you take a look back here, you can see my thumb is behind there, and we're just going to press and turn that on. That, when you see it from the front, is going to look like the case is what's actually having that light. Now, because we have this bowed up, you can cause, I'm going to bend it like this so you can see, you can cause the card to fall down and seem to appear the moment that light goes off. So once again, we would be here. You can either push up against the case to turn it on, or you can use your thumb to turn it on. Now you have that there, and when you see that the light is starting to dim off, which is right now, you let go and that card will appear. You come here. From here, you can just turn that over and show the card case like that, and then the card will have seemingly materialized inside of the card case. You may find this way of getting the card case to light inside a little bit easier to do. That's going to require you to have your Firefly on the inside of your ring finger. Then, if you push that light against the side of the case, you can actually use it to first turn it on, and then by placing it there, you can see that it appears as if the inside of the case is being lit. Really, it's just going through the cardboard, but that's another way in which you can get that same effect. If you want to place the card on top and just hold it there, you totally can using this method. It's just a little easier to hide the actual gimmick. It's a little easier to operate. You have more freedom, and the light will appear as if it's coming from inside of the case rather than being shine underneath, giving the illusion that it's coming from the inside. Now, you've already learned how to make a coin appear, but this is one other way in which you could have it happen. So you could have your hand, and then whoop, it's almost like the coin just appears out of there. You could, in fact, do it again and have a second coin appear as well. Now, I don't know if you could do more than that. Maybe if you're very skillful. My skill level lets me do these two. So the way in which I'm doing this is by first starting out with this Morgan coin in Ramsey's subtlety here, but we're just doing it face up. You just want to play in front of the mirror to make sure that they can't see it. Feel free to cover and cup the hands more. If you have more spectators, if you just have a single spectator, you can probably get away with this. Pretty sure the camera in which you're using right now should not be flashing that coin. Now, the gimmick, you have it in your flash setting, which means when you press it, it turns on. And what I did is I had the other coin in a bottom finger palm here like this. So we're talking, bloom. If we take a look here, you just press the button, it'll shine it, let go as you close the hand, and then you open it. So it's as easy as just closing your hand and then reopening it. Now, the moment you come pick this up, you're actually dropping that next coin in the same place. If you both coins are the same, you don't even have to pick up that coin. You could just place it in finger palm and pretend like you're grabbing it, and then you can do it again. But now you can place that coin down in your pocket, somebody's hand, and now you can do that same thing again, and you have two coins appear when you only had one. If this is the shell, as you place it down, you can steal the shell and then even have a third coin appear if you want. Here's one way you could use your flashlight. Let's turn it on here like this. And you can have your flashlight and then use it to produce a coin. So now it appears as if we're grabbing into not the fabric, but the actual light to use that and turn it into a coin, which is technically what I just said. So the way in which this one is done is you have it on the inside of your thumb. Then you can have the coin in finger palm, and you just come over, you turn on your flashlight. Oh, I just turned it off. You turn on your flashlight, place it down, and now as you come over, basically you have this in finger palm and you're covering the gimmick with your fingers. Once you get close to the light, you can reveal the gimmick and push it open so that it looks like you just pluck the light into your hand. And of course, it goes without saying, I'm using the flashing light here. So we come over, we pretend like we have the light, and immediately we open the hand. And you don't want to have your fingers spread because that will reveal the gimmick. You want to have your fingers kind of closed. So from here, we close, making sure that the gimmick is hidden from the spectator's views. But once that coin appears, you can pick it up, keeping the gimmick there. Or as you pick it up, you can now almost pull the gimmick out and show that coin. From here, you can go south with your gimmick, put it away, and continue on with your magic trick. This, I wouldn't say it's a magic trick, but it could be almost like a little joke, as if you're gonna come over and take somebody's picture like that. So basically what we have here is the gimmick in a very weird location on the inside part of your index finger, the part that's close to, or next to, I should say, to your middle finger. What you do is you use that middle finger as cover, almost as if it was a JW grip, where you have the coin right here hidden. But we're just gonna use that finger to hide. Now, all we need to do is when we bring that finger down, as if we're clicking the shutter of the camera, technically that lens, or well, not the lens, I'm thinking of a camera, the light is going to be exposed when you bring in that index finger, that middle finger. At the same time that you bring down the middle finger, you just press on the flash setting. That's when your mode is all the way at the top. So you pretend you have a camera here like this, hiding the gimmick. And as you come down with your middle finger, you press that and then immediately you bring it back up. So it creates the illusion that you have a camera. And then as you bring your finger down to press the shutter, they get the flash, and then immediately that finger goes back up to hide the Firefly. Again, this is not really a magic trick. It's almost like a little funny thing you could do with your friends, family, or even your spectators. This is a simple idea. If, let's say, you have a card selected, your spectator is thinking of it, doesn't have to be a card, could be anything, but you draw here almost like a little box. And I know you can't see it yet, but let me show you here. Boop. Right there, you can see it's the little box. And if you just concentrate on it, you'll see it automatically. Oh, there it is. Woohoo! You have, were you thinking of the three of diamonds? I should have probably mentioned that the spectator was thinking of the three of diamonds. But yeah, that's one way in which you can reveal some information magically with your Firefly. I don't really have a spectator here to take a card at the moment, ATM. But let's say they cut anywhere they want, right there. And we mark where they cut. Now, we're gonna come over here, and in fact, I'm going to draw a television screen. This is gonna be one of those flat screens TV, but because I'm a little older, I'm from the 90s, we're gonna put the little antennas letting us know that that is the TV. We'll even put the little stand right there, and that is my dresser. So here we go. That is our television set. And all we have to do now is take the little um, thing there, but we're going to take a look at the card that we cut to, time this direction, and 3 of diamonds. And this is what we'll do. We'll take the card here and watch, turn it on. Ooh, and we can see inside of the TV, it literally says 3 of diamonds. Of course, you don't want to leave your TV on. You always have to turn it off. So we turn off the TV, and there we go. Of course, you don't have to do the whole TV thing, turning it on, turning it off. This is just basically an idea just to show you one way or a little creative way in which you could use your gimmick. But what Titanus came up with is actually having 2 papers put together. And in reality, this is 3, as you see. Well, actually 4. I have these 2 here that are serving as a block, so you can't see the 3 of diamonds down there. And then I have one in the back, just in case you wanted to show the back. Now, it's probably really difficult here because we actually have a bright light shining on everything here. If you just have ambient light, that shouldn't be a problem. Now, all we're doing, of course, as you see here, is just a criss-cut force. So the card stays on top. They can cut anywhere they want. You mark where they cut to. You move on to draw the TV, and like one of those psychic spheres that you can look into. I can't remember the name. A circle, a card, anything at all that you want. You draw it on your paper. Of course, make sure it is around your reveal. Again, it doesn't even have to be a playing card. It could be the name if you're going to force something. It could be anything at all. A movie, let's say you have a way of forcing a movie on your spectators, and then that is the movie screen, and then you turn on the movie, and then you have the reveal that they're using. But I digress. In this point, we're using the 3 of diamonds. So we're using just a little bit of time misdirection as we draw the TV on our little pad. Again, I used a pad. Titanus likes to actually glue the pieces together so that it's within. If you're familiar with the Hofsensor card, you can even use the Hofsensor, I can't say the name, but you can use that card for this effect. If you're not familiar with that card, it would show a 7 of hearts, but when you turn it over and you shine your light on it, you would see a completely different card. You would see the shadow of a completely different card, say the 2 of diamonds, on the back, letting you reveal. So you could use the Firefly to reveal that style of information or that type of effect. The way in which we have it set up here is on that middle finger with the light technically towards the palm. That's kind of important so that when you're holding on to the TV, and I know I held it like this, that was my mistake. I should have held it this way. By holding it that way, you'll see that it shines really nice right in the center. So you can really see that. And you also want to time it, let's wait a second, you also want to time it if you show here, right? As you place it onto the hand, you can use the back of the thumb to press it, and then you pretend like you're turning on the TV. Then, or anything. This is just the example here. Then you see it there, and then boop, you turn it off and the TV turns off, and then you're good to go. Now, of course, I did this with Post-it notes, but you could just have it on an actual piece of paper that is perfectly glued together. And the way I was able to pick this out very easily from there is I took the 4 pieces of paper, I put them together, and then I just did like a little dog ear in the corner. That way, I have this in my hand, I draw it, and then when it's time to take it out, you take it out, you show it, and as you're putting it there, you can press with the back of the finger, and then you'll have the light whoop turn on. Now, the reason it's going in the middle is, as you can see, we have that cave or that sea created so that you're getting the light to appear from the center of the paper. If we put the light near the finger, you'll see that it lights it up in a very odd way, like over there. But by flipping that and placing it inside, we actually make it look more like it should. So there we go, just like that. And again, remember, this could be absolutely anything. Doesn't have to be an alien looking TV. It could be a movie theater, a ball, or anything at all that you want. This one is incredibly fun to perform. Most people are probably going to do this a lot, a lot, a lot. I technically keep this in my wallet here, and it's a new technology. If you see, it's a little sticker, and it comes with the electronics and everything already built inside. The beautiful thing is that it's very flat. That way, when you stick it, the only negative is that it's only a one-time use, but the beautiful thing is you can stick it anywhere, and automatically if you push, and here if I cover it up, you'll see that it almost gives you that light. So now you can shine anything you want. It's only going to last for about 10 seconds, and then of course you're going to have to get rid of the sticker or put it back in its charger if you want, and then you have to wait a couple minutes, and then after just a couple minutes you can have another light. So that is an incredible effect. It pretty much gives that same feeling of the carbonaro effect, if you're familiar with it. If you're not, pause this video, search on Google carbonaro effect, and I'll see you in about 2 weeks, because they are very addicting. They are very, very good. So you're going to be able to, if you want, create that style of magic where it looks like you're giving a real explanation, but in reality, you're performing a magic trick for them. We probably don't even have to explain this trick to you, because you already know exactly how to do it. You already learned how to put the Firefly back there and have it light up inside of your hand. The only thing is we're adding a little flavor. We're spicing it up. We're cooking up the magic trick. Ooh, you can tell I'm hungry. With the presentation of the sticker being the one that is creating the light. Now, as you can see, you can just make one of the stickers and reuse it over and over and over again. You don't have to use it and then throw it out, unless that is something you want to do. But you also don't have to use the colors that I used. As you can see here, I have these very cool colors: gold, silver, and bronze. You can just go with the black. You can go with just a pen if you want. What we have here is some circle stickers. More specifically, we actually got these at Michael's, but you can find them at any stationery store. Just find the ones. I believe these are either 3/4 of an inch, or you can get a 1 inch, depending on what you want to go with. But all we did is just cut them into a little square so that the little lights can become portable. Then you can put them in your pocket, you can put them in your wallet, you can put them anywhere you want. Now, we are putting it on our hand here, right? And then just doing that same move that you already know. For the sake of completeness, you're here, you just go there, and as your hand covers it, you just press the button. We have it on the bottom mode, which means it's going to turn on after a couple seconds. It'll be on for really 7.5 seconds. I say 10 seconds so that in the presentation, it seems like you get light for a longer period of time. And then all you have to do, of course, is then open up, and then all you have left is that sticker. But feel free to stick the sticker, the light bulb sticker, anywhere you want. You don't have to do a light bulb. You could do, you can just write the word light on it if you want, and then cause it to happen. And however you want to present it, whether you want to say that the electronics are built in, all of the circuitry, or the batteries, like I said, this is technically the charger. So you just place it back, wait for it to charge. And if you want to play a little prank on your spectators, give it to them. Tell them to try it in a couple hours when it's recharged, and they will be, of course, failing at making the little sticker light up. Now, Senor Matt here behind the camera had an incredible idea to combine the sticker with the light bulb. So that makes it even more Carbonaro-like effect, and it makes it so that it makes a little more sense as well. So what you would do is you tell them you have these stickers. They actually get activated when they are near a large body of water. Luckily, we have a lot of water here, or Mountain Dew, toxins, whatever you want to say. The point is, of course, when we peel the sticker, we have to be careful not to flash the bottom part. Okay, that goes without saying. But now you place it in the hand, and it's also going to naturalize you placing this on top like this. So then you say you, of course, have to create almost like a little cave. And when you hold it like this, you'll see that it's going to light up just like that. And then I think if I cover it, there it is. So now the sticker comes to life. You can see, you can use your light for whatever you need. Of course, because it's so thin, the battery doesn't really last a long time, but you can keep it there, or you can put it back, charge it, whatever you want to say. The idea. He's talking to me behind the camera. What's
Another
up?
idea is how you just you pasted it onto the,
Oh.
and then you just do it like that.
Oh, there we go. So there's another idea for you. Thank you so much, Mr. Marilicious Definicious. So what we do is you do the same thing, and I'm talking as if I already know. This is brand new. So then you would, of course, not light it up now. You would, I'm guessing you want to place the sticker like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
So you press the sticker, right? You come here and you say, well, no,
the light,
sorry.
or the Firefly would be on your finger.
Oh, on the inside.
And so then you
that
either
makes
shine it through the back of it.
You see, that makes so much more sense. Okay. Oh, so you're saying, oh,
So you can either shine it like that, or
this
turn it
is
around
brilliant.
and you shine it.
Do you want to come here? So this is really good. Okay, it seems like this sticker is very good as well, just as good as this idea, and it was difficult to take off. But now you can just hold it here. I'm guessing you place it there, and then whenever you want to activate it, I just pushed it. You pretend to push it, and now you get that light. Oh, that's pretty cool. I guess we haven't, obviously, as you can see, we haven't worked this out yet. Maybe that's not there. Maybe it's actually like this. I was doing it like that because of that previous trick. But from here, you might get it to, if we put it straight on, it might, oh, let me do it again. There we go. So, boop, and then it lights up. Another thing might be to do it from the top here, right? If it's to the top, boop, there we go. And then you would, of course, turn it off to save some battery. And then you just hide that, of course, so that your spectators can't see it. But there's some ideas of how you can use this gimmick in a Carbonaro style effect, making it seem like what's producing the light is not just magically out of nowhere, but coming from the sticker itself.